Hello, I'm Brigantia Blackbird of Blackbird Grimoire. Welcome to the daily forecast for Thursday, September 19th, 2024. It is the day of the Hearthkeeper and the Tradesman, Jupiter's Day, Thor's Day, the 29th of Virgo, the 17th of Vine, the 29th of Bear, and the 20th of Mendier. Our sun is in Virgo, mutable earth, representing industry. The moon is third quarter Aries, cardinal fire, representing initiative. Mercury is in Virgo, mutable earth, representing linguistic skill. Venus is in Libra, cardinal air, representing harmony. Mars is in Cancer, cardinal water, which is seeking security. Jupiter is in Gemini, mutable air, representing questing. Saturn is retrograding in Pisces, mutable water, which is to redefine dreams. Uranus is retrograding in Taurus, fixed earth, representing rebellion. Neptune is retrograding in Pisces, mutable water, representing spiritual awakenings, and Pluto is retrograding in Capricorn, cardinal earth, representing transformations. For our retrograde reminders, for Saturn, reclaim your authority. For Uranus, reconsider how you rebel. For Neptune, reclaim your magic. For Pluto, reclaim your ability to regenerate. And for Chiron, restore the heroic spirit. Now, our moon phase is the waning gibbous, which means it is time to absorb revelations. For the Aries moons, some of your do's are courage, brainstorming, making decisions, and the don'ts are attempting conflict resolution, doing tasks that require patience, and avoiding those sharp objects. So, on this day of Jupiter, you may find yourself going forward boldly. The Gemini Jupiter and the Aries moon combined creates an environment in which there could be considerable leaping before we are actually doing any looking. And while this does make it more likely for us to perhaps find ourselves in a bit of a pickle today, at least it breaks up any stagnation. At least we are moving forward. And sometimes just forward motion, however imprecise, however rough and ready, it's better than just standing still. So going forward and just accepting that, there may you may take a few hard knocks today. There may be a few things that go on today that you look back and it's like, well, that was valuable life experience, and I learned an important lesson. It's all part of the process. So just try to take the rough and tumble of today with a sense of good humor and with looking as it as an opportunity to learn going forward. Then our tarot of the day is the Devil. Ooh. It is a major arcana card, which means expect this energy to have persistent and far-reaching impact. The number of the Devil and the tarot is 15, so you break that down to 1 plus 5, that equals 6, and 6 represents stage 2 of something. And the keywords to the card are enslavement, giving into despair, and limited options. Now, a lot of these are genuinely self inflicted, or they are consequences of choices that we made along the way. So breaking free of that enslavement, it begins with saying X, Y, and Z is not the boss of me. And not just saying that, but acting the part. It is when you start untangling yourself from the chains that you realize that you really do have the power to shift things for yourself. And it's the same with giving in to despair. When things are going badly, and there's a lot of things going badly right now, admittedly, giving into despair, just getting sucked down that whirlpool of icky, grody, we're all doomed emotion. I mean, that's the easiest thing in the world to do. And there are so many people in social media in particular who absolutely encourage people to get trapped into that. Some of them are grifting because, if people are despairing, they're making money because that's their shtick, and they can get you to give them your time and attention, which on social media, that's essentially the same as giving people money. Uh, be very wary of someone who benefits from your despair because they're not going to have any motivation to encourage you to step out of it. And then, as far as limited options go, sometimes our options are limited by circumstances. And sometimes our options are limited because we're lacking in imagination or because most likely we're being stubborn. So the devil is more than likely not some malevolent outside force that we're contending with, or personal enemies or anything like that. Oftentimes the devil is aspects of our character that are in less than shiny condition, I'll put it that way. Flaws that we have not really dealt with and reconciled, or that have been running amok in the background, and we didn't pay attention, and now they're coming to take a toll. But just keep in mind, you are not helpless, you are not powerless. And just because it may not be possible to effect a permanent, absolute solution today, moving in the right direction has value. And sometimes it is just one foot in front of the other, and it just takes time to get yourself out of a bit of a mess. Now, for today's Celtic triad, there are three things due one who has had a contract broken: loss, loss from loss, and honor price. So, of course, with a broken contract, there is loss that inevitably leads to the loss of any hoped for gains that you were hoping to get if the contract had been successful. Then, loss from loss, that's the unfulfilled contract is going to have secondary repercussions resulting in further detriment, especially if you had other plans and motions that were based on the assumption that this contract would be fulfilled. And then an honor price. Honor price is the payment due when someone's honor or rights are infringed upon. Just imagine if the government and powers that be were forced to compensate us for the affronts that they make on our honor and our liberty and just our rights as a living, breathing human being that they should be in service to, not trying to tyrannize over. Tell you what, that really would that really would see a shift in how governments have to spend money, wouldn't it? But the point is that when someone has experienced loss, certainly they are morally owed compensation. Sometimes you are able to impose, legal compensation, although getting a judge to say that you're owed a compensation and actually receiving it, quite often that is very different things. But if we are the ones who broke the contract, attempting to make restitution, so far as what we are able to, that's our duty, that's our responsibility. And, the person who's expecting to get something for their investment, I mean, they're not in the wrong, are they? An agreement was entered into, someone didn't deliver, whether maybe there were circumstances that made it that they couldn't. Maybe they didn't because they were just flaky, or maybe they didn't because they never intended to begin with. Whatever the case may be, the person who suffered loss is owed compensation and restitution, and certainly, at the very least, sincere apologies. Because whether it was an investment of money or time or energy or all of the above, those are things that they cannot recover, at least not very easily. They are owed. Then from there, we have today's magical correspondence that is centered on the theme of determination. The color is red, the plant is hibiscus, the animal is the ant, and the crystal is agate. If you feel yourself wavering in your purpose, or if obstacles in your path are taking a greater toll than you expected, use your magic to bolster your determination. It isn't wrong to do this. In fact, you have these abilities, you have these skills, and the whole point is to make use of them. And if that means you need a little extra boost in order to see yourself through, then that's what you need. Don't apologize for it. Use the tools in your toolkit. Then for today's practice rather, what area of your house still needs a bit of organizational tweaking? We still have a few days left of Virgo season, so make the most of it before we feel that big shift into Libra. So if there is anything that still needs tending to, now's the time. List the benefits of your natal Jupiter sign over the current Jupiter position. For your throat chakra, think about what message do you want to get through to people, particularly messages that people may not necessarily be open to receiving, but you really wish that they would. What is that message? Define it, and then can you actually strategize ways to where perhaps people could be more receptive in the future? Or what you would do if there was an opening and someone's mind and heart was actually open. What would you say? How would you say it? That's something to think about today. Then for the Hermetic principle, it is rhythm today. Have you found your beat for the season? And of course, if you have been experiencing kind of uneven weather patterns, perhaps you haven't. I know it's been challenging for me. We've had some absolutely glorious days that made me feel like everything was right in the world. And then we've had a couple of days that were in the upper 80s and even, crossing over into the 90s. And that was very depressing. It drained all the energy right out of my body. And it was just I wasn't able to go on to that rhythm that I was, beginning to get into. So if you haven't really gotten into your rhythm yet, do not feel bad. I haven't really either. Sometimes the weather is mean, and that's just a reality. The point is that we seek to try to get into the rhythm with things. Then for the witch's pyramid, we're looking at the north wall today. That's associated with the earth element and material action. And the question I'm putting to you is, where do you need to be more active? And this could be spiritually, professionally, in your romantic life, in your family life, wherever it is, where do you actually need to be taking more action? Then for today's journal prompt, describe your favorite autumnal treat to make, especially if you have not made it yet this year. Uh, Give yourself a few pages, put some ink to paper, and create some encouragement for you actually to get into the groove of making these lovely things. Because, I mean, yes, you can make pumpkin pie any time of the year. You can do, apple crumbles and, all these other things at any time of the year. You can find the ingredients for it. You can make it yourself, but it just doesn't feel quite the same as it does when it's actually autumn. Some things are they're just a little extra better when they're in the proper season for them. But that is what I have for you guys today. Have an absolutely magical day, everyone. The YouTube Grimoire, the Blackbird Grimoire, can be found on both YouTube and Rumble. And of course, you are welcome to join the rest of the community at Oak and Elder Witchery on Gilded. Link in the description box. So hope to see you there soon. But that will do it for now, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.